Earlier this month, I saw a video. Someone was talking about doing a fast at the end of August. I didn't follow the person then. I just figured if I'm meant to join in on this fast, I'll see it again. And sure enough, last night it showed up in my For You again. So I'm doing the fast. It's 3 days. Starts tomorrow morning at sunrise and ends Monday morning at sunrise. A fast is where you sustain from food for 3 days. Some people can't do the full 3 days or can't do complete fast due to health issues. There are generally things that you can let go of, that you can not eat during those 3 days, to where you could also join in on this fast. So why do a fast? In 2 Chronicles 7, verse 14, the Lord had appeared to Solomon, and he said, "If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sin and will heal their land." The study Bible says in 2 Chronicles 6, Solomon asked God to make provisions for the people when they sinned. God answered with 4 conditions for forgiveness. God's people should 1. Humble themselves by admitting their sins. 2. Pray asking for forgiveness. 3. Seek God continually. And 4. Turn from sinful behavior. True repentance means more than talk. It requires us to change our attitudes and behavior. Whether we sin individually, as a group, or as a nation, following these steps will lead to forgiveness. God will answer your earnest prayers. Moving on further into 2 Chronicles 20, verse 3, the Moabites and the Ammonites were waging war against Jehoshaphat. Alarmed, Jehoshaphat resolved to inquire of the Lord, and he proclaimed a fast for all Judah. Study Bible says, when the nation was faced with disaster, Jehoshaphat called upon the people to get serious with God by fasting, going without food or drink for a designated time. By separating themselves from the daily routine of food preparation and eating, they could devote that extra time to considering their sin and praying to God to help. That's better. Hunger pains would reinforce their feelings of penitence and remind them of their weaknesses and their dependence upon God. Fasting can still be helpful today as we seek God's will in special situations and during certain seasons. Jump forward to Ezra. Chapter 8, verses 21 to 23 says, "There by the Ahava Canal, I proclaimed a fast so that we might humble ourselves before God and ask Him for a safe journey for us and our children with all our possessions. I was ashamed to ask the king for soldiers and horsemen to protect us from enemies on the road, because we had told the king, 'The gracious hand of our God is on everyone who looks to Him, but His great anger is against all who forsake Him.' So we fasted and petitioned our God about this, and He answered our prayer." The study Bible says, before making all the physical preparations for the journey, Ezra made spiritual preparations. The returning exiles' prayers and fasting prepared them spiritually by showing their dependence on God for protection. Their faith that God was in control and their affirmation that they were not strong enough to make the trip without Him. When we take time to put God first in any endeavor, we are preparing well for whatever lies ahead. Ezra and the people traveled approximately 900 miles on foot. The trip took them through dangerous and difficult territory and lasted about 4 months. They prayed that God would give them a safe journey. Our journeys today may not be as difficult and as dangerous as Ezra's, but we should recognize our need to ask God for guidance and protection wherever we venture. Ezra knew God's promises to protect His people, but he didn't take them for granted. He also knew that God's blessings are appropriated through submission to God. So Ezra and the people humbled themselves by fasting and praying, and their prayers were answered. Fasting humbled them because going without food was a reminder of their complete dependence on God. It also gave them more time to pray and meditate on God, and to focus on why they were praying. So if you're doing this fast, make sure that you're spending special time in prayer with God. Pray for our nation. Pray for our world. There are so many signs today. Pray for your family. Pray for your friends. Pray for your communities. God will hear these prayers. I'm excited to see what He'll do in my life, lives of those that I love, and the people around the world who are also doing this fast. God bless.